Hi guys, Aceface back with another video for Twisted Dice. I'm coming back at you with some more Tyranid content, so hopefully this is something you're going to enjoy, guys. Before we jump into the video, if you could do us a favour, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, it helps us tons. And thank you to all the new guys that have just become subscribers to the channel. Really appreciate your support, thanks very much. It really means a lot to us. And if you want to support us further, we have a Patreon service as well. That is a really active, very cool community, and if you want to get involved, all the details are the link are below. And also, if you want to see an extra special video kind of going on the back of this video, I will be releasing that directly to our Patreons only, and it might be interesting to you guys, so another reason to get involved. But anyway, let's jump into this video and let's talk Tyranids. So as you can see from the title, what I thought I would do today is kind of address some of the comments that I had from the last video. Some really interesting comments and some great feedback, so keep it coming. And we did a video on the points changes for Tyranids, and the overall overriding feeling that I got from that from the comments was that people were really disappointed with those, really disappointed with the points. They thought that they made the Tyranids really poor, that we've come out of it in a very bad place. And I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to kind of address that. Obviously, guys, I'm a really positive person, so apologise, and I apologise in advance. And if you don't like that, then please do let me know that you hate me being so positive, because it's just the way I am. I don't like to take things from a negative point of view on the whole. It has to be pretty bad for me to get negative about it, so kind of apologies, but I will tend to look at things from a positive view. But yeah, so everyone was very down on those points, and just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit, guys, and talk about why I feel that, you know, you may be missing the point slightly. And if I'm wrong, then please do let me know and chuck it down below and let me know why I'm still missing something dramatically big, which I might be. So the first thing and the fundamental thing that I'm not sure whether people are missing is the fact that, and I'm not being sarcastic or condescending, but everybody got points increases. So we've got to stop looking at the game as in these are Tyranid points increases in an 8th edition game. This is 9th edition now, and the points have risen on everything. So fundamentally, the baseline of points have changed. And all we're doing is readjusting all those points at the same time. And when you look at that and you take into account that, the points increases of the Tyranid units are not substantial when you take that in a comparison of every other points increase. In fact, in a lot of cases, those points increases are less, or, you know, very much in line with. They're not above. Now, well, there is a graph out there. I won't put it up because it's from somebody else, but they did a lot of work on it. Great, fantastic. It shows the points increases as a percentage across the whole faction. And I believe Tyranids were coming out about 6th or 7th. That really doesn't mean anything, because what that doesn't take into account where those points increases have come, and where and how many units are in that army. So the percentages are really skewed, so it's a pointless stat, but it's interesting, right? And we all like numbers, and we all like to kind of work out these things and stuff like that, so I get it, but actually that doesn't really necessarily tell us that much. You have to delve in and look at the units themselves. And actually, on the whole, our units have not had significantly huge points increases, as many as some of the others. If you look at some of the highest performing units in the game, quite often you're looking at the Marine units at the moment, because they were the ones that were doing potentially the best on paper going into the new edition. The points increases that those units had were significantly bigger than the Tyranids ones. They've had massive increases on a lot of their hardest hitting units to a ridiculous extent. So you need to take that into account. And in comparison to that, our points increases are quite small. The other thing that you need to take into account, guys, is a lot of people say, well, look, our units are so bad and they've still had points increases. We'll take out of the fact what we've just spoken about with the overall overriding the reset of points for everybody. But on top of that, what has made us worse than we were in 8th edition? And that's a really difficult question, because there is not very much of it. Most of the things that have happened with this edition has made our units better. Now, that's not necessarily the same with all armies. So let's look at monsters. And let me caveat this with saying that Tyranid monsters need an overhaul. If Games Workshop, you're listening, there's no doubt about it. At the moment, particularly combat monsters, do not cut the mustard. When you've got a monster that is worse than a sergeant with a thunder hammer in a unit of Space Marines, and a big monster is literally, you know, so much worse, that can't be right. So look, fundamentally, Tyranid monsters need an overhaul. They absolutely do. It's not the points, it's the way that those units are written. They're not effective enough in combat. They don't have enough attacks. They're not resilient enough. The list goes on. But did they get worse? No, they didn't. They got better in almost every way. So they got better in the fact that from a hitting point of view, where they didn't hit particularly well, the minuses to hit can only be stacked to a -1. That helps them a lot. The fact that now they can get cover that much easier, that helps an awful lot. The fact that on the whole, quite a lot of them are quite slow. The boards are now smaller. That helps them a lot. So there are so many factors, and that's just a sample of other factors on the whole that make monsters better in 9th edition from where they were in 8th. So if you think that actually from a points increase point of view, these guys are only base leveling, so they're not necessarily being raised up higher, we're just resetting all the levels of everything across the game. And these guys are pretty much where they were before, but they've not got worse, they've got better. So in fact, that is all that is an 100% buff to the Tyranid units. Need to take that into account, guys. So yes, do I think we will see armies of monsters in their current state? Maybe not, because ultimately the base stat lines and the rules that those monsters have still make them a little bit lackluster at times. Now that is a generalised statement, because I think that things like Hive Tyrants with a good invuln save, now the ability to get cover that much easier, all their other buffs actually got a lot better, and actually particularly when you're using them as walking rather than flying, their points increases didn't go up significantly much to make them, you know, I think they're strong, super strong. Walking Tyrants with shooting weapons, really good. So look, this isn't overall that all monsters are still untakeable. They're not. Some monsters actually got a lot better. You know, if you look at Swarmlord, his points increases only level up with the rest of it, but as a monster, he's got so much better. So I could go on and on about this, but what I'm trying to get across is the fact that actually, you know, those points increases are not, they're not destroying of monsters. The things that's destroying monsters is the fact their rules are not currently good enough. So let's talk about some other things as well. So a lot of people, Gene Stealers, they go, Gene Stealers, the points increases just killed Gene Stealers. Well, look, the things that you're most worried about with Gene Stealers would have killed you before, and they'll kill you now. But the difference is they're very expensive. So things like Whirlwinds and Thunderfires, those units have gone up substantially more than they were before. So they really have been whacked up in points. And those things, you think, well, actually, they're just, you know, now with Blast, Gene Stealers are just dead. With the amount you need to take, you know, they're just dead. The units that were killing them with Blast are the units that were killing them now and will continue killing them. Nothing has changed there. The Blast makes those a little bit more, I know they get a little bit more shots, well, they get substantially more shots, but they were still killing Gene Stealers before. Well, they were killing them quick enough. If you've got something that puts out a fairly large volume of shots with something that ignores cover and ignores line of sight, that is the Gene Stealer's worst combination, and that's not going to change. So it's still a terrible matchup. But, and here's the but, Again, these guys have got better in so many other ways. First, they are going to find cover easier. You know, still infantry in cover is king. There will be more ways of these guys to be untargetable from that point of view. And the next thing is these guys are so vile to go against if they go first, because now with a smaller table, it's almost impossible to stop these guys from getting a first turn charge if you set them up as Kraken with the buffs that we all know and love. So Genestealer's Alpha is just the same. So it's almost, you know, it's that kind of 50-50, you know. It's the fact that actually, you know, yes, that artillery, those blast things are going to obliterate Genestealers, but if Genestealers get a first turn, there's a good chance that the opponent's in a big world of hurt as well. So, and then on top of that, the fact that with that Overwatch, you've got to spend those CPs, again, really helps out Genestealers. Now, it's a debatable factor whether they've got better or worse. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of a 50-50. They definitely haven't seen a huge hit, and a lot of times they've probably got better in other ways. So let me know below in the comment below if you think actually Genestealers have got better or worse. The other thing with Genestealers is you will have an easier way to be able to reserve these guys, to be more tactical if you come across that army that you know is going to cause them problem with blast, and then use the rest of your army to counter that before the Genestealers come in and start causing havoc. So I don't think by any stretch of the imagination it's the end of the line for Genestealers. You just got to play them probably a slightly bit differently, but ultimately they are going to be one of the scariest things for your opponent to come across in the new deployments. So look, I'm going to end the video now, but I just wanted to kind of let you know that, look, please be positive, guys, because actually Tyranids have not come out of this bad or worse or anything. At very, very worst, they are the same, which is okay. Yes, they're not necessarily winning everything, but they came out of 8th edition with actually a really good record. The stats say that they were actually doing very well in tournaments. You know, so actually Tyranids are up the higher tiers in the game currently in 8th. So they're not in a bad place, and at anything, we're only the same. That's at the very worst, but I would think we are better in so many ways. So I think there's a lot of excitement and a lot of things, you know, to be really, really looking forward to. And one of my first battle reports will be Tyranids versus somebody. So if you're excited about that, drop us a thumbs up, because that battle report will be with you before you know it. But yes, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I will be doing a little kind of second part of this video where I'm going to talk a bit more frankly. Maybe this will not go out to everybody else in a few weeks. This is just for our patrons. But if you want to hear a bit more from me, then become a patron and you can jump over and watch that video. But until the next video, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.